Okay, let's talk about what the new update's going to be for the end of January for main branch. It's currently out on PTB now, but we're going to go through the patch notes and kind of walk through some of the thoughts I have and point you towards some other resources to kind of more deeply explain the situation here. Because I think at first when you read through this, you'll go, that's it? Don't worry, you're not alone. You'll probably also go, hey, is this quality of life update 2.0? Question mark? From November? Yeah, it kind of feels like it. They've done a lot of stuff, yes. But you can kind of see how this maybe feels a little bit chopped up. Anyways, I have a whole video on that. We'll put it up on the end screen later, and we'll talk a little bit more about it. Okay, so I'll try to show you some of the stuff as we have it show up here. So I'm going to go through some of the patch notes as we wander. So for the patch end of January 2025, we have new control for boats, improved controls for rowboat, solo, duo, submarine, and tugboat. This also is in line with other vehicle controls. I believe this is kind of a shoring up of that. Still no official word on when those are coming in. But I have a feeling since this update is so quote-unquote light on like content, they've done a lot of stuff, but you'll kind of see like, oh, there's like some features here. You're like, I kind of wish we had a monument or like some kind of transportation. But I have a feeling this one's light because February's update's going to be a little crazy. As far as we can tell, it's still a monthly update, which is nice. Anyway, so we have Combat Log 2.0, improvements to the Combat Log look and navigation. I can show you that now. So this is the new look. You can kind of scroll over a bit easier. Gives you a bit more of a breakdown. You can clear a lot easier. Before you could, but like, I don't know, some of the updates seem to kind of make it a bit clunkier. So that's nice, because then maybe we can hone in on invalids or even people that are cheating. That's how we do it in PC, so that's how we're going to do it here. Teammate marker outlines. Teammates will now have a block outline around them to help them stand out more against the environment. Also, if you kind of look at my team, or maybe this is what they're talking about. Like, look at the team name. I don't know how well you can see that, but like, there's like a light black outline. Maybe that's what they're talking about. Anyways, the wording is easier to see on the text there. But you'll kind of see like this. They say this is under the category of added. Yes, this is added, but like these are usually for features. That's why I'm like, well, that's more UI. Death marker improvements, which is nice. Death markers are now visible on the compass, allowing players to quickly and easily find their lost loot. That is nice. Actually, you can kind of see mine now. I'll turn this off for a second. See my marker right there at 310? Shows my last marker. Kind of nice, right? It is nice, because you don't always have to drop like another stray marker, which is legit. Landmine model changes. Homemade landmines now have an updated look as well as an updated descriptions in the inventory. Here's the thing. The updated landmines, they're a lot more visible. They're like a red plunger with like a tanned yellowish patty. So you definitely, you can hide them, but they're just not, they're just a lot more visible. Just so, you know, be on the lookout. You won't have to look hard. You'll see them. We have high external wall changes. High external walls, stone and wood, now take 0.5 seconds to place, so you can't use them as active barricades during combat necessarily. The movement will be cancelled while doing so, and movement, I'm sorry, will cancel it. This is in line with the PC version as well. This next one here I think is the biggest update. I'll show you some pieces here, but I'll also show you some examples of why this one's actually I think the shining part of the update, maybe the biggest one, maybe even though people won't be using it a whole lot, but I know I will. And if you're solo, you probably should. We have the, where am I at? Fishing update. Players can now put worms and grubs in their hand slot. Updated bait stack size display to match Steam version, and updated various bait values and stack sizes for various items. Here, let me show you what I'm talking about. So essentially all bait now has, you see how we have a bait value, which is 3, but then a stack size, which is 3, which means you could stick 3 of these on a fishing pole and it will use 3 at once, which gives you 9 bait value. So worms and even your trash berries are all worth something. Like trash berries are worth 1. If you look here, the bait is worth 1 for pumpkins, but the bait size is also 1. So if you have a lot of free fruit or pumpkins or whatever from the rivers, a good way to run it to get some extra fish for bait, things like anchovies, herrings, so on and so forth. Start with the pumpkins if you have extra. Fish out a bunch, and then you can start using those. Here's the kicker, right? You can also stack these in your fishing traps that like sit around on the shoreline, so you can get passive income easily. And now with the drone shops, Yes, you can also trade and exchange fish, and you don't have to be close to a fishing village. That makes it amazing. So yes, you have to pay the $20 for the transit, but it's not that bad if you're cashing out like sharks and, you know, whatever. Those are $90 for 2 of them, so not bad, especially if you're out there running monuments. So I think that's the most powerful thing. You see some people on PC doing it, but not enough. They did it when this initially came out, but it's super, super OP. So I think that's the biggest part of this update that's really kind of stands out. I'll show you some more examples as we kind of work through the rest of the list. Okay, Workbench updates. High-tier Workbench can now access lower-tier tech tree, and the Workbench tree UI now accepts D-pad inputs. Wonderful. So essentially, you don't have to have level 1, level 2, level 3. If you have a level 3, you essentially have all of the other workbenches, which is great. And also, we don't have the tax yet, but I'm sure that's coming at some point. And you might be asking yourself, what's that? Well, eventually, probably this year, at some point, anything above a tier 1, if you try to research it on the workbench, it'll have a tax. I think it's like 20% for tier 2, and then I forget what, I think it's maybe 30% for tier 3. So essentially, they're trying to encourage you to go out and, you know, run monuments and stuff and do high risk, high reward type things. But you can see right here, if this was like a level 2, then I would use the left and right bumpers to go back and forth, so you can kind of see how some of the interfaces changed here. So it's very close to the PC version. So basically, enjoy the free tax, no tax on your workbench while you still have it. Okay, so metal shop front, players will no longer be able to remove attachments whilst the weapon is in loot section, and updates the metal shop front icon. Scientist Chinook fire rate has been improved. This should make, this should make it more balanced for players outside of the Chinook's field of vision. The crafting menu tab icons have changed. You can see here on the far left, the general or the commons have now changed to a Qbert stack. Yeah, I said it, Qbert. What now? Metal shop fronts, crafting menu. So the attack helicopter has now been updated. Scrolling on the mixing table UI has been improved. No longer drifts when input is stopped. Players can now store loot on dead bodies, and players can now swap attachments between guns. We're going to switch over to gameplay here in a second. I think we have most. Yeah, okay. So here's a list of gameplay type stuff. Stack size, oh wow, okay, yeah, stack size for worms and grubs is now 20. By the way, grubs is the most valuable. I'm sorry, it's worms. It's worms. It's worms. No, grubs are 5. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's grubs, not worms. Raw human meat, raw fish, anchovies, sardines, and herring are now have bait values of 3. There you go. Raw bear meat and raw wolf meat now have a value of 10. So you're going to be piecing out the animals a lot, and I mean a lot. It's definitely something you want on the regular, for sure. As a matter of fact, to like stack up on your baits, like if you have some fishing traps indoors, you just put a bunch of bear meat and wolf meat on there, and then just, you know, go out, run monuments, come back and pick it up. It's a thing. For sure, it's a thing. Over here, we have added improvements to terrains around rivers and roads. That's good. Yeah, roads, that's weird. I don't know, cars. We have reduced instances of invalids missing ammo after reloading automatic weapons. Improved performance when toggling in-game menu tabs. Let's see. Reduced instances of invalids when damaging a sleeping player's leg or foot. Fixed a crash that could occur when taking fuel out of a miner's cap and equipping it at the same time. Stairs at launch site now have the correct collision. The drone fee scrap cost now gets consumed correctly when players have scrap in their backpacks. That's cool. Okay, stairs at launch site now have the correct collision. Drone delivery fee now gets consumed correctly when players have scrap in their backpacks. That's a very nice quality of life, I must say. Also, let's see, what else do we have here? Updated sheet metal steps collision to be smaller than the other steps. That is for building materials. Fixed a bug that caused horses to get stuck when passing through small gate in the harbor, as well as specific locations near outposts. Yeah, was anybody else getting their horse stuck in the L back there by the bubbler? My goodness. That was, or even on the edges of bases. It seems like it's fixed now. Fixed a bug that caused horses to get stuck. We got that one. It says, pressing the take button to transfer items from backpack will now stack on the same stackable items when inventory and hotbar are full. Interactable deployables no longer get stuck on occupied when operating while opening another menu. The Bota bag, which nobody uses, no longer contains 10 milliliters of water when crafted. I mean, cute. Horse HP no longer displays a negative value in the exam menu after being hit with a melee weapon. Player's vending machine map markers now correctly display what is for sale when broadcasted. Oh, we're going to show you some of the example bait fishing stuff here in a second. Placing a ping no longer instantly kicks the player. After picking up a placed water purifier, the prompt to open the purifier no longer persists. Button prompts from combat log no longer persist after exiting the pause menu. That's good. Removed the rotate prompt when using the building plan radial menu. Beautiful. Added warning label when trying to upgrade recently damaged construction. Here's some example of different bait types we already have on the boat here. Let me just show you this real fast. So you can kind of see, I know I just stopped from the list, but you can see here human meat is 3, max size 1. Sardines is 2 stack size, but 2 bait. Grubs are 4, but the max stack size is 3, so it actually goes up to 12. So you probably want to break it down to 2 apiece. So you have 8. Diced up raw fish is 1, and you can max that to 3. This stacks to 3, and its value is 3, so you can get that maximum of 9. This one's 2 bait, 3 stack size, and then this one's interesting because when you cut this one up, it's 2 raw meat. 2 or 4 raw meat, one of those, and then it's 10 bait, and then it's 1. So this actually can be used as bait, and corn's the same as our good friend the pumpkin. It has 1 bait, and then the maximum stack size is 1. So you can already start to see here, like, if I have this as a maximum 1 bait size, every time I fish, it's only going to take 1 off the top when you cast. You kind of see there in the corner. But if you grab something like this, it's going to try to take 3 at a time. So I would get a maximum of 4 uses out of this 12 raw meat here. So if I throw it in the water, watch, it should attach 3 bait. I know it's extremely hard to see here right now, but you can, hopefully you can see the value here once I cast it. Yep, see, there you go. It went from 12 to 9. Okay, continuing onward. I just wasted all that bait, that delicious bait. Okay, players are now able to add markers instead of snapping to nearby markers when the map is zoomed in. Thank you. That is a absolute beautiful thing. Tuna can lamp fuel now shows the correct duration. Server tags no longer misaligned to loading screens in several languages. Restarting servers no longer show up in the main server list. We have a lot of visuals here. Other is water transition in audio no longer plays underwater when swimming near the side of the duo submarine. That's beautiful. Okay, so let's go through the last little bit of this. Locks placed on high external wooden gates are now in the correct position. Stairs at launch site now have correct transparency. Beautiful. The upgrade preview for the metal steps to armored steps no longer are misaligned. Improved acoustic guitar world model to match Steam, but not the chords, sadly. Water transition sounds consistently when entering and exiting water. Small oil rig Chinook landing smoke particle effects now appear below the scientist Chinook when landing. Players can now toggle lights when facing interactable objects. Ooh! Rock formations now have the correct collision boxes. Beautiful. Screens are no longer blurry when waking up. Awesome. You know I like that. And there's no longer floating grass foliage at launch site, and water wells now have consistent VFX water flowing into the barrel after pumping. So a quick note on, and this will be up on the end screen, but I know this seems really, I mean, there's a lot of like things they've ticked off. Yes, they've done a lot of work, but as far as like the content and the features, I know we have a few here and they're good, don't get me wrong, I do like them. But obviously we're expecting a bit more. I get it, they're coming off the holiday and stuff, but at the same token, it's like, we gotta hit this hard. We gotta hit this year hard, because like, if we're gonna do monthly updates, we gotta have monthly updates, not like, you know, another cool holiday of life I just fell off the top, like we did last time, right? Anyways, I don't want to rant on it too much, because I definitely have a video that I went through all of this. But we should see this update at the end of January, which I think is the 30th. Let me double check. I think it's the 30th of January when this hits main branch, if everything goes as planned. Yes, the Thursday, January 30th is when this hits main branch. Then we should see in a week, or maybe the day after, something brand new on PTB. I think it's going to be big. I'm still leaning towards a mode of transportation at this point. I mean, could they really give us another dud? I certainly hope not. But anyways, I go more into depth as to why I think they really need to up it this year, especially after we have this update that feels light as far as, you know, content and whatnot. So that should already be up on the end screen now. And hopefully we'll see you guys in the next one. Yeah?